A young man living in a village was very troubled by his mental fears. He was always afraid of one thing or another. Sometimes he would be scared thinking, "What will my future be like? Will I be able to fulfill my own dreams and those of my parents?" He always felt that he had many shortcomings, and because of this thinking, he considered himself lesser and inferior compared to others. He even felt afraid to talk openly with people. When he interacted or spoke with others, he felt that their focus was only on his flaws. This made him feel uncomfortable and anxious in front of people. He was also jealous that people around him were progressing, and he feared that his friends or neighbors might surpass him. If that happened, he would appear weak and inferior, and because of this fear of falling behind, he wouldn't share any information or opportunities with his friends and peers, even though he knew it. He thought that the other person might take advantage of the information or opportunity and surpass him. Mentally, he had become so frightened and weak that he felt happy seeing others fail. He often compared his work and progress to those around him, and felt jealousy and envy towards those who were more successful than him. Because of this comparative and negative thinking fueled by fear, the young man often remained disturbed, and he knew that this fear and comparative thinking was not good for him. It was pulling him back. However, despite trying hard, he could not let go of this mental fear and habit of negative thinking, and as time passed, his fear only grew, making him more anxious and overwhelmed, yet he was unable to do anything about it. Then suddenly one day, he learned about a Buddhist monk who lived in a monastery in the neighboring village. The monk was a meditative person with many disciples and was famous throughout the region for solving big problems with his wisdom and knowledge. As soon as he learned about the Buddhist monk, the young man went to see him the next day. He greeted the monk and sat down in front of him with a sad face. At first, the monk looked at him carefully and then asked him in a calm and sweet voice the reason for his visit. The young man began to share his story with a very sad and distressed heart. He said, "I am scared and restless. I am worried and frightened about my future in work. I am always haunted by the fear of lagging behind others and proving to be weak. I feel jealous when I see the success of others and find joy in their failures. I constantly doubt myself and keep comparing myself to others, due to which I have become very disturbed and troubled inside. And because of this unrest and fear, I am not able to achieve anything significant in my life. I have come to you with great hope. Please show me the right path." The Buddhist monk listened to the young man's story attentively and then began to speak in a serious voice. "All these fears and symptoms are only found in a person who lacks self-confidence, who does not trust himself, and who is not comfortable with himself, because a person who is confident and connected with himself will never be sad about someone else's success, nor will he be happy about someone's failure. A confident person does not live in fear that he will fall behind others, or prove to be weak in their eyes, because he trusts his abilities and efforts. Therefore, he always tries to give his best in every situation without worrying too much about the results." Today, I will tell you about some habits found in people who are filled with self-confidence, who trust themselves, who are comfortable with themselves, and who are connected with themselves. By adopting these habits, you can fill yourself with self-confidence, learn to align with yourself, and keep yourself away from negative thoughts like fear, jealousy, envy, and comparison. So listen carefully to my words and try to understand where you stand, which of these habits you already possess, and what other habits you need to develop to live a peaceful, happy, and successful life. Let's start. And the first habit is to stop taking things personally. There is no need to take everything personally, because if a person takes things personally, then any statement made for a group or generally for everyone, and if that person takes it upon himself, then he feels very humiliated and deeply hurts his self-confidence. Instead of taking things personally, we should learn to extract collective and situational meanings. That is, we should understand for whom, for what purpose, and in what circumstances a statement is made. Keeping these things in mind, we should derive its meaning, and a person who is comfortable with himself, who trusts himself, knows himself, therefore he never takes things personally. Instead, he derives the meaning of that statement according to the current situation. When we learn to extract the meaning of things and statements according to the situation and opportunity, then we save ourselves from unnecessarily blaming ourselves and from being troubled by creating unnecessary pressure on ourselves. The second habit is to trust yourself and your abilities. This is the most beautiful feeling. It is very special that others trust us, but when we learn to trust ourselves, life becomes very easy and beautiful, because once our trust in ourselves is firm, then it doesn't matter whether someone supports us or not. We keep moving forward in life. No matter how big the trouble comes in front of us, it has to kneel down, and we keep moving forward with a smile. The third habit of confident people is that they have a pause in their lives, and they take enough time without any panic. Everything in life doesn't come immediately, nor are circumstances always favorable. It doesn't happen that everything will happen instantly. Sometimes we need to pause. We need a little pause to understand and do things well, and during this time, most people lose their patience. But a strong person, who is comfortable with himself, will have this quality. He will take a little time, but he will have confidence that the time he is taking, or the time it takes for that work, is actually making him and his life better. So, that person will happily take his time, wait, and instead of being disturbed, he will have a lot of patience and gratitude that at least things are getting better, so he will value the time, maintain peace within himself, and the time will pass very peacefully and calmly. The fourth habit of confident and mentally strong people is that they believe in advancing others. Only a strong person can lift another person higher, can teach him something. A person who likes himself, who is comfortable with himself, who is satisfied, is the one who can help others. But what will a person who is helpless, weak, and not satisfied with himself do? Others need help from him, but a person who trusts himself is comfortable and satisfied with himself. Therefore, he does not get involved in jealousy, envy, or comparison. He also finds joy in helping others, because he knows that the stronger I am, the stronger someone else becomes. A group of strong people will be formed, and everyone will move forward strongly together. The fifth habit of confident and mentally strong people is that they know how to present their point of view without getting too angry, without losing their composure, without harming anyone, and without fear. Because such a person is comfortable and honest with himself. Therefore, he is aware of his mistakes and also knows where he is blameless. Therefore, he accepts his mistakes with complete humility, and when he is right, he takes his side without fear and presents his point very strongly. But within the boundaries of his decorum, that person presents his point very well, whether in front of 100 people, 1,000 people, or the whole world. He knows when to take what step. In the same way, the sixth characteristic of these people is that they are mentally and emotionally strong and powerful. Who is truly strong? Who has knowledge, but has no arrogance of that knowledge? Who knows how to do the right thing at the right time? Who knows how to be humble? Who knows how to help others? That person is truly powerful, independent, confident, successful, satisfied. So the true identity of a strong person is that he keeps all dimensions of his life strong and also makes others powerful like himself. Because he knows that the more positive energy is spread, the more it will multiply and come back to him, and he will continue to become more powerful. Think about it. If you are in a group of weak people, what will happen? Gradually, you will also become weak. But if you create a group of powerful people, increase their strength, what will happen? Gradually, your own toughness will keep increasing. So such people are powerful. Confident and connected people have a special feature that they are satisfied with their lives. This does not mean that there is no enthusiasm to do something further. There is a lot to do ahead, but they are filled with gratitude for what is there now. They are satisfied, they are happy. There is peace and love in the heart, and a positive zeal, because it is from the feelings of satisfaction and gratitude that success comes to us in the future. Fortune comes to us, but if we are dissatisfied, we will remain unhappy with ourselves, find faults, and get irritated. Then this cosmic power, this nature, will also say that he is always crying, always finding faults. Leave him alone and focus on my cheerful children. It happens many times that if a child is always crying, getting irritated, and complaining, then many times his parents also leave him in that condition, saying, "Let him be. He will come and quiet down after a while." But a child who is lovely, cheerful, and calm receives more love from people. He receives more happiness, so the meaning is that people who are satisfied can remain comfortable and happy with themselves, and their trust in themselves keeps increasing. In the same way, The eighth habit of these people is that they believe in balance. Living life well requires it to be balanced. So strong people who are comfortable with themselves believe in the balance of life. There are many aspects of our life such as physical health, mental health, family relationships, social relationships, future dreams, fun, enjoyment, success, etc. And if we give proper time to all these things, there will be a balance in our lives. We will be satisfied, we will be happy, we will stay healthy, but if we pay too much attention to one area of our life, if we are doing very well in it, but are very backward in other areas, then what will happen? We will never get that satisfaction, that happiness, that confidence in our lives. We will mostly be troubled. Therefore, pay more attention to the weak areas of your life and make a plan to improve them so that you can establish a balance in your life. The ninth and last habit is that these people are open-minded. Anyone who is open-minded will welcome new ideas. He will also respect the opinions of others, but a person who is not open-minded will be stuck in the arrogance of I am always right and spoil his work by being arrogant. It is very important to be open in mind and heart. I am what I am, but if another is different from me, that doesn't mean he is wrong. If I don't like a particular thing, a style of dress, a way of working, that doesn't mean that the other person's method is wrong. So it is very important to be open-minded. Learning new things, whether it be a job, culture, ideas, art, welcoming them, praising their goodness, accepting change, these are all things that characterize an open-minded person. But if we get stuck in conservatism and small thinking, in superstition, if we are not ready to change our perspective, then what happens? We start to mentally rot, but when we open up, welcome new things, we smile. We become better than before. Our minds develop more. And we keep learning new things and moving forward, which brings more happiness into our lives. After saying all this, the Buddhist monk paused for a while, then smiled slightly and said, "So by now, you must have understood and also guessed where you stand and what changes you need to make within yourself." Hearing this from the mouth of the Buddhist monk, the young man nodded his head and thanked the monks for this invaluable information and left from there.